You can come
We
over
got
to our
chop today.
I'm sorry, what?
So we got some chop today.
We get some chop today, man. No doubt about it.
And one of the things that you've taught me, so I'm just kicking in, man. I was ready to go.
It's perfect. That's good.
One of the things
That's
yeah, one of the things you talked to me about, chop is really where like the floor traders make their money, right?
Yeah.
Like they love the chop. That's the money zone.
Sure.
So, and you know, a lot of people come, and I've heard a lot of people say in the last week or so, like, you know, they're trying to decide whether they want to watch the paint dry on their wall or they want to watch the charts, right?
Okay.
And but chop is really where the money's at. That 70% of the time, I think sometimes we get so like, I mean, we love the volatility, but we can get so used to that volatility that we think there's no opportunity when there's chop.
And it has to do, the chop too has to do with what is the span of the chop. That's, you know what I mean? Is it 5, 10 S&P points? Because that's a lot. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing right there. People are used to 20-point moves, and all of a sudden, you know, if there's a 5-point move, well, that's just a waste of my day.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, no, I'm with you. And what is pretty cool, I mean, the larger the volatility, the more I really actually do like it, okay? But what does happen is this, is that after you get the large volatility, right, when you get a 5, 7, 10 points, I'm not sure factually where your probability goes up of making money, but it seems that it does, because it just goes back and forth, and you just have to grab it quicker. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is more steady, and you definitely have less risk because, you know, you can go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Down all of a sudden.
You know, there's a different ball game there. There's no doubt.
Well, I mean, it can be easier a lot of times to grab 5 points 5 times, and it can be to grab 25 points once.
And what has always blown my mind, and it does right to this day, is that if you do it that way, at the end of the day, it's really surprising how much that adds up. Because what happens, folks, is that what you're hearing here, if I'm trading both sides of the marketplace, which happens when you have the volatility, it's crazy, because it's all of a sudden you realize that, oh my God, that's, you know, it's...
Yeah, you're just trading those little ranges.
You're trading those ranges.
All the time,
right? And you're not...
It's really visual to me. I just look at it on simple visual basis.
It is visual, and you don't... What happens is that you don't even think about it, meaning that you get 3 or 4 points, you take it. You get 3 or 4 points the other day, you take it. 3 or 4 points, and then all of a sudden you take a break like an hour and a half later, and all of a sudden, man, you just got 25 S&P points. It's like, and then, folks, what you want to do is quit. then go, you know.
And I say it's visual. Of course, it's visual, but it's statistical too, because you know you're going in areas. It's just your mind's doing that analysis almost on its own right, where you understand just intuitively, I think, right, Darrell? You know, where just intuitively you're like, okay, it's gonna like bounce around in this area because that makes sense. It's not too far away from yesterday's close. It's not too far away from
right.
And I have a pretty simple rule I use. What I do is I look at recent areas of institutional support and resistance.
Yeah.
Okay. And I make sure there's like an ice level, magnet level, you know, or like a deviation level in between them.
Right.
So if there is, I'll play that all day long, and I'll use a tight stop. You know, I mean, I'm going for like 3 to 5 points. I'm using maybe a 2-point stop.
Right.
And so if I'm wrong, I'm out, because, you know, if it oscillates in the site, because eventually it is going to break, right? And so I'll take that, you know, one hit, but I mean, in one trade I made it back or more, and I got 3 or 4 along the way.
And what happens here too, folks, if you try this, and try this on paper trading first, is scale, okay? Because when I do that, I scale, you know? So what will end up happening is that when you have the zone, what you don't know is that you're just going to go from zone to zone, or you're going to mess around a little, you go up a little, back a little, and if you scale on that, it gets pretty cool, because you don't want that trade to last a long period of time, but in between, let's say, 10 to 30 minutes, you'll go in the money most times. Do you know what I mean? It's just whether you take the money or not. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it shakes out, which is really cool, man. And what happens, folks, is that you can't do it every day. It just doesn't happen. I mean, maybe if someone can, please call me, okay? Because it doesn't go. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't go like that. But when it does go, it's really cool. You know what I mean? It really is. You know.
A lot of times it'll just bounce around.
Totally, man.
Top to bottom.
And you literally, there has to be a little room to take some profit. There has to be a small stop. And then when it gets there, though, you can't be greedy. You can't all of a sudden go, oh, I'm going to go for that 20-point move or that 10-point move. Like, as soon as it hits the other side of that zone, I mean, I'm out. Because you'll end up just giving it all back. and you're only going for 3, 5, maybe 10 points on these things.
No doubt.